Hello and welcome to a video review. This time round we are playing Assassin's Creed Syndicate and we are sat currently on the top of Big Ben. Are we not, Mr. Asim Tanvir?
We are on top of Big Ben. I'm controlling Evie here, as you can see, and we are on Big Ben, and that is my Metal Gear sound on my phone going off.
How very professional.
Professional, yeah. We shall be jumping down and doing a leap of faith, just in case you were not sure what game we're playing.
Indeed.
It is Assassin's Creed, and I'm going to jump out a bit like, hey, no one's going to notice what I'm doing, obviously. They're going to be completely fine with that, which is kind of one of the problems I have with the game, if we'd like to get into it straight away.
Okay.
Gameplay-wise, it's a mixed bag.
Okay.
I liked Unity, but that was last year. Times change, gaming moves on pretty quickly. We're now in a world where Metal Gear 5, the Phantom Pain exists, and a lot more is to be expected from an open world stealth action game, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Mm-hmm.
And we should be expecting a lot more as well from a stealth action game, open world, when it comes to open world. And that's the key thing with Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Its gameplay really hasn't moved on. We've had probably 9 Assassin's Creed games, I'm guessing by now.
Yeah, I think it's something like 9 in 7 years if you include Liberation.
Yeah, so that's a lot of Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah,
I think it's not too much to expect some sort of innovation 9 years on, just refresh a little bit even. The stealth gameplay in particular is one of my bugbears. It seems very pantomime-esque. Whereas Metal Gear, everything you do affects kind of the next thing. It's very much clockwork type thing going on.
Yeah.
In Assassin's Creed Syndicate, like if you go into an area, you get spotted. Only one guard might see you, and there's like different levels of alert. It seems very, very systematic, a bit too gamey almost.
There's that whole thing where you'll get spotted, and then there'll be a bar that fills up, and provided you disappear within the time of that bar, you'll be okay. And then you can go back into the same guard's field of view shortly afterwards, and he won't.
Literally seconds later, in some cases, and he won't notice you. And even like if he does notice you, and you do get into a scuffle, you kill that guard. No one around you will notice. Even the other guards won't notice. It's just. It seems like that it's very singular, and nothing else really affects the world around.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because the world around, as you can see here,
yeah, I mean it looks really nice. It seems like they've captured the atmosphere of Victorian London absolutely perfectly.
They have, yeah. They have.
You've got the smokestacks in the background. You've got the rising plumes absolutely everywhere, and it's quite clear they didn't give a shit about the environment.
No. It's true. It's true. I mean, the world itself looks great. It seems more populated than ever before as well. And you can do cool stuff like hijack tourist vehicles like this, like I'm just doing now. And just like GTA Victorian London, essentially. But yeah, the combat fares slightly better. Like the melee combat, it's basically Batman style combat, where you just press one button to attack, a counter. They've added a few different things to avoid gunshots, triangles, and stuff like that. So it's a few more button presses here and there. But as for what it's worth, it's basically kind of doing what Batman did.
So it sounds like they're doing a little bit of innovation here and there, but overall it seems like it's trying to almost catch up with itself on a technical level, where last year I obviously reviewed Unity for the site, and I think we all agreed that at least internally we all agreed that the game itself was good, but the technical issues really hampered it. I've got to say that I didn't have anywhere near the level of technical issues that other people seemed to when I reviewed the game, but
same here.
After the fact, it seemed like there was just an absolute onslaught of problems, and I don't know whether they've the messages I've been getting about this game so far seems like it's not quite fixed those problems, and it just seems to have possibly introduced more problems. And
so you just saw on screen there just the enemy just floating into view, which is
Yeah.
the least of its problems. Or like just an hour in, I encountered like an entire building just appearing out of nowhere. It was weird, and like the game, like the frame rate still chugs, and it's weird because the game is because Unity actually looked a lot better, like in terms of facial detail, hair, and the world itself just looked more detailed in general, like textures and stuff. So they've obviously dropped a level of detail to try and kind of fix these issues in terms of frame rate and whatnot. But they're still there. They're still there, which is the most baffling thing. And
I mean,
yeah,
I wonder if it's something to do with the engine, because they've never been that smooth. It's
probably
just,
maybe they can't.
Yeah, it seems to be that thing where I've really enjoyed the Assassin's Creed games, and I've been a bit of an apologist for them in a few cases, but
Stop apologizing for Assassin's Creed.
Even at this point, I'm starting to wonder, do we necessarily need another one now? It's like, just I think a year off wouldn't hurt it at all.
That's a good thing that they probably should do. I think the gameplay and the game itself is beginning to kind of creak under the pressure of like the quick development cycle that they've got at the moment. They need a year out, or maybe even a couple of years out, to kind of smooth out the engine, kind of really nail down like what are the issues, like what's happening here. But obviously there are business stuff to take into consideration. They've obviously got a yearly cycle planned, and that's how their business model works, which is a shame because I think the developers are obviously talented people, but they need a bit more time to kind of polish and do things as they like to, I guess. Maybe if you like could speak to developers, they might, we do need some time, but obviously, they're not
going to go on the record and say that, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that the thing that's the thing that I find really frustrating about the Assassin's Creed games is that underneath them, like more or less without fail, there will be a good game in there somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad game. I'm not saying it's a terrible game. Like, if I was to probably score it right now, I'd give it a 7. But I haven't played enough to be comfortable in terms of giving a score. But yeah, it's a decent game. It's just that, like I said before, in a world where Metal Gear Solid 5 exists, you can't help but compare. I know people will say, "Oh, why are you comparing?" Blah, blah, blah. But you can't help but compare. It's just like come on, like the way the stealth is, it's very pantomime-esque. Like it kind of ruins that illusion of the great world that they've built here. I think I said in my review, it's like when you saw a Wizard of Oz for the first time and you realize he was just a guy behind the screen, controlling things. That's what it feels like at times.
Yeah,
like the illusion just disappears and it vanishes.
I mean, I think obviously we've been spoiled with the Phantom Pain.
Yeah,
I think we said at the time, we've said in numerous podcasts and discussions afterwards that it's rare that somebody nails open world to that extent on their first go.
Yeah.
And I just think that anyone making an open world game now has got to sit up, take notice of it. And obviously it was never going to happen with Syndicate because, it was out a few months after MGS5 and it was just never going to catch up. So hopefully they can take on board a lot of cues from Metal Gear and particularly because of the fact that it's a stealth action game where you need to have this, you need to have the ability to disappear, you need to have the ability to take out guards stealthily, and you need to have that the infiltration ability. I mean, when I played it at EGX, I kind of was on the top of I think it was the Tower of London, and there was some guards walking around, and I dropped down and one of them saw me and walked over. His mate was stood next to him and he didn't really do anything. Yeah. So I killed that guy, and then eventually I kind of got into a bit of a fight with a number of people, ran to a door, and it was like, become anonymous to continue. I'm like, but I've made it here. I need to be able to get through this door.
Yeah. There's little things like that just kind of ruin the immersion. But yeah, just kind of moving on, like you saw there, like me recruit one of the rooks that I've got as I was walking past, and order them to fight one of the guys. Like there is cool stuff like that. Like there are some redeeming things. Like if you look at right now, I'm looking at the map of London essentially here. You've got areas you need to basically conquer and do stuff like gang wars. There'll be Templar targets. There's all different types of stuff, and rescue children from the Templars as well, all that kind of stuff to liberate the areas, and then kind of move on. Those are the kind of tasks you'll do, and you have like a base of operations. I'm going to try and find where the train is, because there it is.
Yeah, it's a moving train this time. Right?
It's a moving train. It basically moves around London. It's really cool, and that will basically sort of be your base of operations. I think what I want to show you as well is how you kind of switch between characters. Like you essentially press start and you pressing the right stick to change it, and just kind of switches skins. It would have been cool.
Okay.
It would have been cool if it were really more like GTA.
Yeah.
Where you just kind of press a button and like Evie's going about her stuff, or Jacob's going about her stuff, her stuff.
Yeah, camera zooms in and he's just stabbing a fool in the neck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, stuff like that. But yeah, this is the train here that you've got. You've got Jacob sitting down here. You've got your income coming in as well. You've got your staff as well. Well, staff. You can do missions with them as well.
Yeah.
You've got your gang. And it shows you the setup as well. Which is basically there's 8 sequences.
Mm-hmm.
You can I think it seems like you can tackle them in any order, because I can if I
okay, that's cool. So it gives you an indication of the level that you need to be, obviously.
It gives you each mission gives you an indication of what level. I think I'm level 4 or 5 right now, so it gives you it tells you what level you need to be, just in case you go in and you're too low level. But yeah, like so you can say it here. I can, if I conquer one more borough, then I can basically do it.
Okay, so it's dependent on side mission progress.
Yeah,
well.
which is kind of a good and bad way of doing things, because there's a lot of similar tasks, so to speak. I mean,
that's Assassin's Creed, though, isn't it? You've always had that.
Yeah, but I just wish there was a bit more variation. Like there are stuff with like characters such as Charles Dickens you'll meet, and Alexander Graham Bell, and all other British historical figures which you'll meet, and they'll give you stuff to do, which kind of breaks things up nicely.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be nice if there was a bit more variation in terms of the core stuff to do. Yeah, I mean, I can't complain too much. It is a decent game. It's not terrible. I haven't totally ripped it to shreds. But
the thing is, it sounds like for a want of a better phrase, it is another Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
it's like that. That's what it is. It's another one of those games, and it's going to be. It will be that way, for however long they keep this yearly cycle up. And I think that I personally feel that I don't have that much inclination to pick Syndicate up at the moment. Mainly because there's a lot of other stuff coming out, and also because I don't really feel like I need to play another Assassin's Creed right now.
Yeah, I mean, although I don't hate the game, I think I've been saying to you guys, I get a bit bored at times playing it, if I'm honest, which will sound like a scathing assessment of the game. It's not totally completely boring, but when you're doing stuff over and over again, the same stuff over and over again, it just gets a bit repetitive. The core gameplay, I think, just needs a bit of a refresh, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it's worth playing for, if you're invested in the story, if you like the story of Assassin's Creed, like that overarching Templars, Assassins, and the Apple of Eden and all of that stuff.
Story seems decent. Yeah.
Yeah. If you like that, and if you like exploring the worlds and things like that, because I'm from what I've seen of this and from what I've seen elsewhere, like the actual world design of London is very impressive.
Yeah, you'll see it here, like at kind of like evening dusk time. It looks amazing. It looks really, really good. And you've got the whole traversal stuff is pretty cool as well, especially when you get the grappling hook, which you're seeing you use now.
Yeah, that's quite a cool. That's quite a cool little addition, actually.
Yeah, thanks to Batman, obviously. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's a pretty good game. We shouldn't really waffle on too much. If it's Assassin's Creed. If you're into the series, you'll like it. I mean, like I said, you've got the 2 characters, Evie and Jacob, as well. They seem like they're good lead characters. Let me try and show you how to switch quickly here. So yeah, just I think I need to jump down before I do that. But yeah, you just basically press start, press in the right stick, and yeah, you can, hey presto, you're switched.
Okay, so that's like, it's an instant thing rather than.
Yeah, it's an instant thing.
Yeah,
it's nothing. It's nothing too taxing. But yeah, I mean, you've got the stealth style for Evie, which is supposed to be like that. There's there's not much of a difference to be honest. They're like even their skill trees.
It sounds like it's almost just a straight skin swap, really.
Yeah, like I see here, their skill trees are pretty similar as well. But it's more Assassin's Creed, like I said.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. So
cool.
Yeah, but it could be better also. But I'll leave it there.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for joining me. That's it. Keep an eye on the site. Keep an eye on the YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and everything else. I think we might have a couple of competitions coming up soon, which would be quite interesting. And also, subscribe, like, comment, all that jazz.
Yeah, boy. See you later.